All right, you heard from one of our trustees on the Forward ISD School Board. How are you feeling about our schools? Should we save our schools? Should we save our teachers? Should we protect our students? Should we protect our workers? I hear you. Our next speaker is John Kuhn, a superintendent of the Perringwood Consolidated Independent School District located northwest of Fort Worth. He has recently gained national attention for writing the Alamo letter to his lawmakers and for a passionate speech he delivered at the Save the Texas Schools rally in Austin, Texas. Let's welcome Mr. John Kuhn.
Good morning. Are there any friends of public education in this crowd? All right, then I'm talking to the right people. There is some nonsense going on in Austin right now. Elected officials are trying to blame school administrators for the cuts that are coming. I'm a school administrator and I don't take it well. I don't make a good scapegoat because I kick. My title is superintendent, but I'm a teacher at heart. So today, I'm going to give you an education about education. There will be a test, so take notes. The age of school accountability should be renamed the age of blame, when teachers wear the scarlet letter for the failings of an entire nation. I want to tell you that we send teachers into pockets of poverty that our leaders can't or won't eradicate. And when those teachers fail to work miracles among devastated children, we stamp unacceptable on their heads. I ask you, where is the label for the lawmaker whose policies fail to clean up the poorest neighborhoods? Why do we not demand that our leaders make adequate yearly progress? We have the data. We have data about poverty, health care, crime, and drug abuse in every legislative district. We know that those factors directly impact our ability to teach those kids. Why have we not established annual targets for our legislators to meet? Tell me why they do not join us, the teachers, beneath these vinyl banners that read exemplary in the suburbs and unacceptable in the slums. Let us label lawmakers like we label teachers, and we can eliminate 100% of poverty, crime, drug abuse, and preventable illness by 2014. You see, it's easy for elected officials to tell teachers to race to the top when no one has a stopwatch on those leaders. Lace up your sneakers, senators. Come race with us. Teachers are surrounded by armchair quarterbacks who won't lift a finger to help, only to point. Congressmen, come down out of those bleachers and strive with us against the pernicious ravages of poverty. We need more from you than blame. America's education problem is a poverty problem. If labels fix schools, then let us use labels to fix our Congresses. Let lawmakers show the courage of a common school teacher. Hold hands with us and let us march together into the teeth of this horrible blame machine you have built. Let us hold this congressman up against that congressman and compare them just as we compare our schools. Congressman, do not fear this accountability you have given us. Like your teachers, you will learn to love it. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe our lawmakers do such a great, wonderful job that we don't need to hold them accountable. Well, let's look at some of the things they've done. Did you know that over the next 5 years, Texas lawmakers will send $500 million to London, England to line the pockets of Pearson's stakeholders? That is 15,000 teacher salaries sacrificed at the altar of standardized testing. $500 million for a test. I'm sure it's a nice test, but it's just a test. I've never seen a test change a kid's life. I've never seen a test dry a kid's tear. Tests don't show up at family funerals and junior high basketball games. They don't chip in to buy a poor girl a prom dress. Only teachers do those things. If times are desperate enough to slash local schools' operating funds, then surely they are desperate enough to slash Pearson's profits. Lawmakers, get your priorities straight. Put a moratorium on testing until we can afford it. Teachers are our treasure. Let's not lose the house so we can keep our subscription to Pearson's Test of the Month Club. We have heard Texas senators often talk about the teacher to non-teacher ratio in our schools. Lawmakers, they are all non-teachers at Pearson. Don't spend $500 million that we don't have on some test that's made in England. Parents are so fed up with standardized testing that hundreds of them are refusing to let their children test. They do not want their children run through this terrible punch press. They do not want standardized children. They want exceptional children. Let me tell you Texas's other dirty secret. Some schools get 3 times the funding of other schools. Some schools get $12,000 per student, while others get $4,000 per student. How many of you are from Fort Worth, Texas? You can cheer. This isn't school. You don't just have to raise your hand. You can cheer. All right. Let me ask that again. How many of you are from Fort Worth, Texas? Did you know that every single child in Austin is worth $1,000 more than every single child in Fort Worth? Do you agree with that valuation? Congress does. They spend billions to fund this imbalance. And now the architects of this inequity point at the salaries and staff sizes at the schools they have enriched to justify cuts at schools that have never been given enough. Senator Shapiro says, yes, but we're cutting the poor schools by less. Senator, you don't take bread away from people in a soup line, not even one crumb. And you should not take funds away from schools that you have already underfunded for years. It may be politically right to bring home the bacon, but it ain't right. Is this the best we can do in Texas? These very same senators have a catchy new slogan. Protect the classroom, they say. I ask you, senators, who are we protecting the classroom from? You. That's who. You are swinging the axe. Don't blame me for bleeding wrong. Politicians, save your buck passing for another day. We need leadership. Get to work, congressmen. Do your jobs like I do my job and find the revenue to fund my child's education. If there is money for tax breaks, there is money for textbooks. And now, with your permission, I would like to read a letter I wrote to my representatives. To Senator Estes, Representative Hardcastle, Representative Keffer, and Representative King during these grave times. Gentlemen, I am besieged by 100 or more of the legislators under Rick Perry. I have sustained a continual bombardment of increased high-stakes testing and accountability-related bureaucracy and a cannonade of gross underfunding for 10 years at least, and I have lost several good men and women. The ruling party has demanded another round of pay cuts and furloughs, while the schoolhouse be put to the sword and our children's lunch money be taken in order to keep taxes low for big business. I am answering the demand with a figurative cannon shot, and the Texas flag still waves proudly from our flagpole. I shall never surrender the fight for the children of Perrin. Then I call on you, my legislators, in the name of liberty, of patriotism, and everything dear to the American character, to come to our aid with all dispatch. The enemy of public schools is declaring that spending on a shiny new high-stakes testing system is, quote, non-negotiable. That in essence we must save the test, but not the teachers. The enemy of public schools is saying that Texas lawmakers won't raise 1 penny in taxes in order to save our schools. If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and fight for the kids in these classrooms. Like an educator who never forgets what is due to his own honor and that of his community, make education a priority. With all due respect and urgency, John Kuhn. Thank you.